Let me go over the phone lines and speak to Dr. Kwabena Donkor, who is a member of the minority, former Minister for Power, member of Parliament for Pru East. Thank you very much for your time and good morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing well.
Well, by God's grace, yeah.
And I'm hoping you agree with everything the minority is doing in demand for the resignation of the Governor of the Bank of Ghana.
Yeah, it is not just the minority. It so includes civil society organizations and some trade unions. Yes. All we're saying is that for us as a country, we must develop a sense of responsibility. Leadership takes credit when good things happen. And therefore, leadership should also take responsibility when failures occur. The governor of the Bank of Ghana is the only chief executive who is also the board chairman of the institution by law. And this is because both the Constitution and the Bank of Ghana Act gives the Bank of Ghana sole responsibility for monetary policy. Not even the Minister of Finance can interfere when it comes to monetary policy. And therefore, when you have a state where inflation is at 41.1%, when interest rates are between 30 to 40%, is symptomatic of failure of monetary policy. And somebody must take responsibility. And it is the governor. Not only is he the chief executive of the bank, he's also the board chairman of the bank and also presides over the monetary policy committee of the bank. And that is why some of us are demanding that he should take responsibility. If we have been successful, we have been celebrated. But nobody today can say that inflation is under control, interest rates are within reasonable range. And he must take responsibility. In any case, per his conditions of service, if he resigns, he retires on salary for the rest of his life. He will be paid the salary of a governor. And he will enjoy the privileges of a governor. He is likely to belong to that category of employees who retire on their salary. So if things are not going well, take responsibility and resign. Let somebody else come and take a second look at it. And you see, the most painful thing over this situation is that both the Public Financial Management Act and the Bank of Ghana Act says a ceiling. The Bank of Ghana can only lend a maximum of 5% of the previous year's revenue to government. If for any reason, in any emergency, that limitation has to be breached, he is required by law to come to Parliament for that ceiling to be waived. You went ahead, printed money above the ceiling without parliamentary approval. So that in itself is an indictment. In any case, in basic economics, you have inflation when so much money goes chasing a smaller quantum of goods and services. So when you print money beyond the quantum of goods or services you have in the country, you spare inflation. And so you don't create inflation by printing excess money and then come back to say you are using deflationary methods, which includes high interest rates, in order to quell the situation that you created. Look, today businesses are unable to borrow for expansion because how many businesses will give you a return of 40%? And yet, if you go and borrow, you are paying 40% interest. How do you recover? So these are the issues we are dealing with. It is not about personalities. You play your role and you exit.
So it's simply you are now even bringing it because the focus has mostly been on the loss he has made as a result of that action he has taken, that he's broken the law. Secondly, your action has also resulted in a loss, but you are now adding the point of even in fulfillment of your mandates, you have failed.
Yes. The Bank of Ghana has been totally ineffective over the last few couple of years. And that is why we have the high inflation that we have in our economy. Remember, because of the high inflation and high interest rate, we cannot even meet the convergence criteria for the single currency for West Africa. We can't meet that.
So, because, and now let me read to you, and I'm sure you've heard this over and over again, the comments he's made in response to the demonstration.
Yes, calling us hooligans.
Yes.
That's fine.
In fact, the very first one he made is that you have many channels to channel your grievances. And he said, in civil societies. For you, is that an accurate statement to make, that there are other channels you could have used?
Yes, we have options, but we decide to choose which option we use. As long as our option is legitimate, and the Constitution guarantees the right of the people to demonstrate. So if we choose to use that option, it is not for him to tell us which option we should choose. And then to call us hooligans is unbecoming of a public officer. It is extremely unbecoming of a public officer. He has a PhD from McGill University. I have a PhD from Bristol University. How does he call me a hooligan? And I was in the demonstration. And I'm not a hooligan. Neither are my colleagues or the civil society partners who went on the demonstration. You see, in Ghana, we must develop a sense of responsibility. When you are in leadership, sometimes you fail not because of what you have done or not done. Sometimes the operating environment can even lead to failure. But because you are the leader, you take responsibility. But what we have a tendency of running away from responsibility. And I have every moral right to say this.
Of course, your history as power minister. If you had one thing to say to the governor, what would it be?
I will ask him to apologize for his choice of words. He's somebody I had known to be a gentleman. But on this occasion, he let himself down. He let the institution down and let Ghanaians down. He should apologize, resign honorably, take a back seat. In any case, financially, he doesn't lose because he retires on salary. If you and I had the privilege of retiring on salary, probably would have retired ages ago.